Jack on the floor of NBAA 2012. It's time to get back to the lighter side of things, or at least the sportier side of things. I understand you've had a hell of a week.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting week. On Sunday, I was elected as the chairman of the EAA board and also took over the reins on an acting basis as the CEO of the organization. So it's been a busy week.
I think what everybody really wants to know out in sport aviation land, if you will, is are things going to be okay?
Everything's going to be fine. EAA is still a very healthy organization, and it's really built on the backbone of all of the members and the volunteers that are out there. And headquarters is there to service the members. And I can say that the members couldn't be more engaged. They continue to help give us the guidance of what direction they want to see it go, and we're listening. But financially, the organization's healthy. We've got a great staff in place to move the agenda forward, and July will be a telling time. We've got another AirVenture coming up, and I think it's going to be better than ever.
How will we see change manifested in the near future versus the far future?
Well, really the near-term future is just better communication. I think the direction of EAA as far as what we've been trying to do to be more inclusive, to really reach out to what we refer to as aviation enthusiasts, which is not only the pilots and not only the individual communities within EAA, but to make sure that it's something that anybody would want to be a part of. That does require some change. I mean, some of the changes, we have to be able to fund this organization. And people have groused about the commercialization and their perception about what EAA is about. And what our goal is to help educate people on understanding that as a membership organization, the programs we're trying to deliver far exceed from a cost standpoint what a membership cost is. And one of the things that funds that is AirVenture. And AirVenture is dependent on an awful lot of companies that you see here and other places renting booth space and selling their wares to all the folks that show up. So we've got to make sure we just continue to communicate. We're not moving away from any group. That's not our intent. Our intent is to keep everybody inside of aviation, whether it be a home builder, a warbird, a vintage, an IAC, an ultralight LSA movement, or anybody that's a part of those groups as part of EAA. Keep them engaged.
How's morale?
Morale is good. The folks at headquarters are a resilient group. I mean, they've been through a lot of change in the last numerous years with a change from Tom's direction to Rod's direction, and I think they're saying just point me in the right direction and let me go. I'm passionate about this organization. I'll do a great job. I think in the membership community, communication to help get the morale back on track is going to be necessary, and I'll just do my best to stay in front of them and let them know what we're intending to do.
The DFC-90 all-digital attitude-based autopilot delivers significant performance and safety improvements over previous generation systems. Its innovative flight envelope protection guards against autopilot-induced stalls, and the straight and level mode provides one-button recovery from unusual attitudes for an added measure of safety. Immensely popular within the Cirrus community, the DFC-90 is now being made available for a growing list of aircraft including Piper Matrix and Mirage, Cessna 182s, and Beech Bonanzas and Barons. Fly with confidence. Fly with DFC-90.
Earlier in the year, there were some people who had given quite a bit to the EAA mythos, both as volunteers as well as staff members. And a number of those people wound up, for lack of a better way to put it, separated from the corporate end of EAA. Will we see any of those people coming back?
Well, that's hard to say. A lot of them have found jobs in other places. We have reached out and said, we're certainly willing to talk about people coming back. One of the hard parts of this is we filled those positions. I mean, our organization is staff, so it's a fine line. Are you going to get rid of somebody to bring somebody back, which we want to be sensitive to. But what we really want from those folks is to get them engaged and participating again. We want them to feel that we want them back, whether it be working or whether it be as a member and volunteering for us and involved. That's critical because we think we've lost them.
There is a perception that damage was done from a standpoint of how EAA communicated its mission as well as the mission itself. Is that damage insurmountable, or will it get fixed?
Oh, it will get fixed. I think the noise you hear about damage around communicating our mission, if I sit down with anyone that's been involved with EAA for years, it hasn't really changed. I mean, it's all about bringing aviation enthusiasts together, making sure that we represent the various groups that I had mentioned before. It's being sensitive to some of the things we didn't get right. One of them clearly was the chalets during AirVenture. That was a real sore spot right in the face of the membership, and we needed to correct that. But more importantly, we should have communicated better as to why it was even taking place. So we've got to take a step back. We're going to do a do-over and see if we can get that type of messaging out to our members better than we have in the past.
What message do you have for the volunteers who make AirVenture what it is?
Wow. I'd like to hug them all first of all. I mean, we can't do what we have done for all these years without the volunteers. They're the lifeblood of AirVenture. I'm simply amazed at what they do as far as sacrificing their time. Our goal going forward with the volunteers, because there was a lot of complaints at the membership meeting about issues associated with the volunteers, is to listen to what the issues are and respond. And it doesn't mean we're going to be able to do everything they want to do, but get the two-way dialogue going so that we don't end up at AirVenture hearing for the first time what their concerns are. I want to hear them now and see if we can work on them now.
Welcome to the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Real-time 24/7 online audio and video programming, where aviation has been getting updated for over a decade. Distributing over 11,000 stories, features, audio, and video programs every year. Only ANN covers aviation and aerospace with this much depth, insight, and expertise. Check us out on the web at aero-news.net.
You have that double-edged sword, and don't get me wrong, I see both sides of it, because to a certain extent we have to battle that issue as well. The issue of commercialism versus paying the bills.
Yeah, that's a lot of the communication that we have going forward, is providing a little more transparency on what's going on with the organization, from what it needs to be able to operate so that the members get the services they need and that we can have an air show that's as remarkable as it. You look at Oshkosh, we've built something that's unbelievable, with the museum, with all of the grounds, facilities, and infrastructures, but you have to continue to have the revenues to be able to support that on an ongoing annual basis to be able to throw the event that we have. So we've got to work to message and make sure people understand that comes in a variety of ways, not only gate receipts, but the vendors that are there, if you look at our financials, pay a large portion of that event. And that event is the majority of the revenue that supports the organization.
I ask a personal question. How does this work for you? I mean, your home's in Wichita, friends, spouse, so forth and so on. And gosh, isn't it getting kind of cold up in Oshkosh?
Well, winter is coming. I have the advantage of a small airplane. I can fly back and forth, which is nice. I'm going to spend as much time as I can up in Oshkosh and help provide the guidance while we do the search. But I have a very understanding aviation wife that also says, make sure that AirVenture isn't a world-class event, because she loves going to it year in and year out. So that helps. Hey, we all in our careers have done things that require some personal sacrifice and hardship. For me, this is a labor of love. I'm a volunteer. I am a non-compensated elected chairman, and I'm doing this because I think it's important.
Is this something you could see doing on a permanent basis? Could you look at stepping into the shoes that were once there by Paul and Tom and Rod?
I'm not sure. I think really being board chair, which is a 3-year elected term, renewable at the decision of the board for another 3 years, probably is where I can be most effective. I've had a great career, and retirement was suiting me pretty good. But we'll see as we move down the road. Somehow,
Guys like you, I don't see retiring. I see you just biding your time till the next really cool project comes along.
And that's, I'm at a point in my life where really cool projects is what I'm looking for. It's not about running publicly traded companies and the headaches and turmoils that go with that, but if it's aviation related and it's cool, I want to be a part of it.
I wish you nothing but the best. Keep us in touch.
Thanks, Jim.